Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? It is your man, B. Vaughn, with We Create Music TV. And today on our interview segment, we got my man, hip hop music producer and groove creator, Hey Bombay. Man, y'all give it up for Bombay.
What's going on, guys?
Yo, what's good? What's
Going
good?
on, everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look, there's gonna be some other sound effects that happen, during this whole show. But yes, man,
Yeah.
brother, it's good to have you on the show. Glad that we were finally able to bring you on, just talk about your musical journey.
Yo, thank you for having me, man. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Yes, sir. Man, so let's just dive right into it. So just
Mhm.
walk us through your musical journey. How'd you even get started into this whole music world?
Mhm. So yeah, man, it's crazy. So when I first started doing like music production, I think I was in high school. Like I used to mess around on Fruity Loops, uh, and basically like we had all the school computers, and I used to download FL Studio, like the cracked version, on every computer, so that I could go and pretend to do assignments, and I'll make beats. Uh, Growing up in the Middle East, music production wasn't like a big thing at that time. It was more like a hobby by that point. Then I went to university, and then eventually, I just started getting really into like music production, just as a way to like make get myself busy and be more creative, right? So then I found out music like from Pete Rock and like
Mm-hmm.
Gangstar and different like hip hop boom bap producers. And I always used to wonder, I'm like, yo, where did these guys get these records from? Like all like the way they would flip
Mm.
them were interesting to me, right? So from there I started like listening to like the original artists, Bobby Humphrey, Gil Scott Heron, like Dexter Wansell. So I was like
Mm-hmm.
going to the rabbit hole, and I just kept going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually, yeah, man, like I just amassed a huge record collection, and now with Spotify and stuff like that, I pretty much I've listened to as much different music as I can. And then, then from there, like just listen to all the different types of music, kind of gave me more appreciation for like the black arts, for like different types of genres like bossa nova, even like raga music from India. So it's like I'm still learning a lot about that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, it's been a beautiful journey, dude. I wouldn't take it. I would always remember that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So growing up in the Middle East, you stated that music wasn't uh, I mean, I don't know.
Definitely.
I mean, was it non-existent?
Yeah. Well, like it's crazy. I went to private school. I went to a private school
Ah,
there.
okay.
Right? So, like private school, it was like a lot of British kids and British teachers. So like
Hmm.
if I told, hey, I make music, and I pulled up FL Studio, you had all these guys from the cello and the violin and the keyboard. They're like, and then and then I'm like here with the bringing up the desktop. I'm like, yo, I made this. To them, they couldn't comprehend it. Now I think it's
Hmm.
easier. So, bro, it's
Mm-hmm.
way than than ever was, right? But growing
Yeah,
up,
for
man,
sure.
I couldn't even show that to my fam because they'll be like, "Yo, like just learn to play the keyboard or something."
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, "What is this?" Whereas as an Indian family, they're always wondering, like, "Okay, how do you make money from this? How do you make income, right? How do I tell your future wife's parents that you're making money in this
Mm-hmm.
field?" Right? It's just like a arranged marriage kind of thing, right? But yeah, man,
Mm-hmm.
it was hard. It was difficult, but yeah, it was.
Hmm.
It is what it
Well,
is.
what were some of the difficulties around it?
Like in high school or
Just in
like
general. Yeah,
with
you
music.
stated. Yeah, you stated it was hard. I mean, what were some of the difficulties around it? What made it hard or difficult during that time?
Well, like I think also like in private, I was like an average kind of student because
Yeah,
I was
kind of
so
like I
like,
was.
bro, I used to I had a big CD player, and like the teachers used to say, "Yo, no music." So I used to like have like an extra big jacket and
That's
like the
right.
CD player,
That's
and like
right.
I used to pretend I was
You like
lefty, right? So I'd be doing my work like
you
this.
you you in school like.
Like this, right? And then yeah, dude, hip hop music, unfortunately, you know, there was a lot of negative connotations to it because at that time,
Mm.
growing up, it was like Lil Jon. It was like a lot of like I would say, quote unquote, it just wasn't respected, right? And then when I was listening to it, I was listening to like, you know, in high schools, like the Neptunes, Timbaland, all those guys were like super popular, right? But then when I was in high school, 16, 17, doing the FL thing, yeah, it was a lot of like ratchet music. So everybody just assumed, like this is before like internet was blowing up, right? So everyone just assumed you're making like this type of music. And there's like a negative connotation to it. There's like that there was no creativity when that's a lie.
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's always creativity in everything, whatever you do.
Right.
So like for me to like to be like, yo, this is how I want to make music, and these guys have like symphonies playing, you're like, you know, then they'll make you feel like, yo, this isn't like a legitimate thing. And as a young person,
Mm.
I'm listening to my fam, I'm listening to my teachers. It's like, yeah, cool, just going with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, because you got your peers and your environment that are kind of shaping, your beliefs and perceptions about music. And so if they oh, that music is never going to go anywhere. You're never going to get anything out of it. You're wasting your time, and that kind of sits in your head and kind of feeds into your own beliefs. And it's like, well, maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Crazy because like I mean there's these parts I'm like, yo, I wish I could show them like Parliament Funkadelic, and I wish I
Mm.
could show them like, these crazy bops they had in the 70s and 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because and even how like, you know, when like rappers like Nas or like Jay-Z would like paint these amazing vivid pictures of what it's
Mm-hmm.
like to be in the environment. Even Dr. Dre, I remember Chronic 2001, like it was the most like, bro, it was like the language of that album was crazy. I remember buying the
Album
cassette
was
tape.
crazy.
Yo, and like I used to roll roll
Hey,
my
the
mom.
era, the era
My
of
mom
tapes.
yeah. And then we rolling down the street, and it'd be like the most obnoxious like, raps. But even then, like those raps made you, and it made me feel like, damn, this is what LA must feel like, you know? In that
Yes,
crowd. It was amazing.
yes, yes, and
Super.
and that's what I love about music is because when you have good music, so we'll stay on the Chronic 2001. When you have great production, I can't even say good, amazing production. You have artists who are on there that really have artistry and they can tell a story and they're really good at storytelling, right? It can paint that picture and it can kind of put you in that place. It's like, wow, wait a minute, I'm really on Crenshaw and Slauson. You know, like this is what it must feel like to be on Crenshaw and Slauson. Like this must what it. Oh, I'm at the swap meet. Like this is kind of, and I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel that from music today. I don't know if I feel that same, wow, that's what it must feel like to be in this particular place. Because when I was growing up, now no, I think I'm much older. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. But when I was growing up, that's when NWA was coming out. You know what
Oh,
I'm
word.
saying? Like, yeah, yeah,
Nice. Nice.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's when NWA was coming out.
Yeah.
Um, that's when, Ice-T was out.
Wow.
Yeah. Colors.
Good. That's dope. That's dope. You have a lot of experience, man. Like you've really seen it. Like, you've really seen the
Yeah,
growth.
I mean,
I,
I've seen, I can't say I've seen the birth of hip hop, but I mean, I was born in '74, so after, but I was there for when the Run DMC got started, when the LL Cool J came into play, when the Curtis Blow came onto the scene. Like I remember listening to hip hop music back in the day, and they made you feel like a part of what they were presenting in their music. Like Eazy-E, I'll tell you like what Eazy-E said. He said, we are telling what goes on in our hood in our music. And I miss that. I don't know if I don't know if I get that same thing today from some of this music that I hear today, but
yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
I feel like yeah, hip hop music. I don't feel it as much. I agree with you. Like when it comes to like genres, like hip hop, I haven't really felt it. I feel like more like music from the UK, like
mm-hmm,
Heady One, those kind of guys. I feel like okay. I think it's the way they use their slang and the way like the
mm-hmm,
stuff and the way it's produced is very unique. Same with like Afrobeat. Like I listen to
right,
Afrobeat. like, yo, this stuff is fire. Like Wizkid's album is just like it makes you. I know it's like sometimes it gets like -10 here. But I'm just like I just want to go party. Fire. This is like some dope beats, right? R&B too, but yeah, I agree. There's no like kind of like it didn't transport me to a certain place like it used to, right?
Mm.
It just it gives me more mood than like a transport to a different culture or like
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting.
Yes, it's very. You know, you mentioned that sometimes it gets 10 degrees that are there. For those of you who don't know where Hey Bombay is, he's in Toronto, and so
Ron,
that's right. We international, baby. We international, right?
yeah, let's go, let's go.
Let's go international. So you went from where you were, Qatar. Is that where?
Exactly.
Okay, I got to make sure, right? So going from Qatar and going from there to Canada, going I guess from somewhere that really didn't have a huge musical production scene, and then coming to Canada, and now you are in like the new mecca of hip hop music. Right. So I mean, when you think of like hip hop music and you think of Canada, you think of Toronto. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's what you think of. You think of Toronto. Toronto is like L.A. and Atlanta, New York, probably all mixed together. I've never been to Canada. I want to come to Toronto. Actually, I've never been to Toronto, but when who was about to become president? Was it Trump? We were like, we moving. Yeah. So, oh yeah, no, like for real. Like we was like, we out of here. We're gonna move. If this is what the world's coming to, we're gonna like this guy as the president. Yeah, we're gonna leave. And so we did all the, bro. I know this ain't my interview, but I'm just saying, like we did all the testing to move to Canada. We had to do the language test to show that we. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Language test. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. We did the language test. We went to the center and took the whole actual testing. We met with the person there. We had to submit all of our documentation and paperwork for. Oh yeah. We were gonna move to Vancouver though. But
Okay. Wow. Vancouver's really nice, man.
yeah,
Vancouver's
we were
really
gonna move. Actually, we were gonna move to Vancouver, but we moved to Atlanta. So.
Atlanta's dope, man. I love Atlanta. I mean, like they just call it as it is, man. Like
Yeah.
Atlanta's so dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been there twice now, and like I just love from what I've experienced. I just love the homeliness. Like I did, we just
Mm.
go around. People are very like inviting and warm,
Right.
you know. And then it's just different. I like it compared to Canada, very very different. Toronto, everyone's polite, right? In
Mm.
Atlanta, I feel like I remember one time I was walking with a really bright pink shirt because I thought I was in Toronto. What are you like that for?
And they were like, "Yo, what's up with the pink shirt?"
They're like, yo, this is weird. But yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah.
Right. I mean, 90% of the people that live in Atlanta are not from Atlanta.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
90. I would say I'm probably exaggerating, but there's a lot of people I'm not from Atlanta and I live in Atlanta, and there's a lot of people that I know that live in Atlanta that are not from Atlanta, and so I had to get used to understanding that there are people here from different cultures and other different cities that still try to practice their culture in in Atlanta. Like
Mm,
I remember, I forgot who I was talking. I was talking to somebody, and they were mentioning how there's a lot of people that move from New York down here, and New York and Atlanta are completely. Now I've been to New York and I've been to Atlanta. Of course, I live here. I can say, "Hey, what's up?" to everybody, anybody in Atlanta. "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" Random people. Yeah, not in New York. Hey,
mm,
hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, like this dude got a problem? Like, why he saying what's up to me? Like, and I would see that here in Atlanta, like wow. And so people had to kind of adjust their own cultures based to the city that they're in. I mean,
right.
probably like Toronto. It's probably a melting pot of a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people that move to
Yeah.
the city that that just makes it so diverse and so affluent as it is. So kind of talk about that. Kind of talk about the Canadian music scene
Mhm.
in Toronto, and how does that influence your own musical style?
Mhm. Yeah. So like So when I initially first moved, I didn't really know anything about the city, like music wise. And just as like I would go record digging, I would ask the guys at the store, "Hey, could you give me some like local albums I could maybe purchase?" I mean, Drake is like a well-known name, right? But just like some back history, the first local album I picked up that wasn't Drake was by Aya, and it was produced by someone by the name of Slakah the Beat Child. And his stuff is very neo soul mixed with like J Dilla. It's very dope, very dope. So this was like the first CD I copped, and then from
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, okay, like I don't have to really make trap. Trap isn't really my thing. I can do trap, but it has to. But usually it's like R&B. It's kind of like R&B trap, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like I listened to that album and I was like, oh, this is like it has those funky bass lines, it has like those slumpy drums. And I
Okay.
kind of knew like, okay, this is the kind of tribe I want to be with. Like this very like cool, smoke and mirrors kind of vibe,
Mm.
right? And from there, man, I used to grind. Like I used to have like packets of CDs and business cards with like download codes on them. And I would go
Ah.
to like local shows, and some of the local shows were terrible. They were like negative 10, 15, and I'm there like this. I was a bit more plumper, and I had big glasses, and I used to
Mm.
just go around, and we didn't have like I don't think I had a Bose speaker at that time, but I would just literally go around and be like, "Yo, check out my CDs, check out my beat tapes." And they're like, "Who is this? Who is this guy?" And then eventually, I started leaving that kind of side, and just
Mm-hmm.
started doing the producer events. And like I think the first one I did was like iStandard when they came here.
Hey. Yep.
Shout out those guys, man. Because if it wasn't for them, like, bro, I don't know. Like you would probably still see me outside, like the downtown, like trying to hustle like beat CDs. I
Mm.
don't know, right? But after I did the iStandard events a couple of times, I started, branching out to like I went to LA for one of the beat competitions,
Mm-hmm.
uh, LA and Atlanta, and then like eventually, yeah, man, like here as well. It's very interesting in this city too. I think around this time there was a lot of collectives that were doing a lot of producer run events, right? So we have like
Mm-hmm.
it was like loop sessions. We had uh there was another one, but I haven't done one in a minute. Like loop sessions was a big one where like they would have guest curators and you could basically like meet the curator and meet other producers around
Mm.
you, and you guys can just start forming connections. We never had this. When I went to LA, 2016 for the iStandard, with Beats to the Beats,
Mm-hmm.
everyone knew each other, and I was just like there, like, "Hey, I'm from Canada."
I know.
And they're like, "Oh, come on in, brother!" Like, I was like, "Yo, right?" So
Mm-hmm.
like there, I just love that connectivity amongst everyone. And then yeah, man, eventually like my sound as I started meeting up with more like-minded people, my sound started going towards more like neo soul, like learning
Okay.
more music theory and like getting away from the sampling, though I do like it. Um, and yeah, man, like it's just like an energy thing, right? Like
Mm.
we all just met, you all just met, and all these things just started happening automatically without
Right.
any kind of like resistance, right? I
That's
hope
right.
that answers your question. I kind of
Yeah,
rambled
yeah,
on.
no, yeah, yeah, no. Shout out to, let's give a shout out to Hatch, Jay Hatch,
Yeah,
Sis,
what's up, man?
Trill Collins. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like they,
So,
yeah. I mean, that's how I met. A lot of people was through iStandard. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as I
yeah.
heard of an iStandard event, I was like, what's that? I want to go to it. That's a producer event. I want to go. And so I went to one in St. Louis. I took second. Never been to Beast of the Beats. Um, honestly, the reason why I didn't go to Beast of the Beats because I didn't think I would place in. Yeah, and that's why I never went. I was like, at least I took second place in the St. Louis one. But yeah, I'm not gonna go and embarrass myself at Beast of the
No,
Beats.
yeah. Beats, yo, that was my first time, man. I did that. I was so scared because I thought I was dope, right? I thought I was pretty good. Then I met like I don't know some of my other homies like Nabi and from LA. Met him, and I
Mm-hmm.
met so many dope producers in that event, and I was petrified because
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, I don't even know how to play the keyboard, bro. Like I don't even know. I'm just making loops. And
Yeah.
then,
Like, oh. Yeah, I was scared. Like when I first heard, I'm gonna tell you what did it for me. When I heard Kenny Buttons, and when I heard Nook, when I heard Nook, oh my gosh, and
Yo.
Nook is so, and I got to get Nook on the show too. I'm gonna call him sometime this week and talk to him and get him on here. But when I heard him stuff, and Nook, and he'll do his, doop, bloop, doop, like, I was like, oh no. I said no, just their arrangement and their drops and the way that they told oh yeah, no. I was like, I don't make beats for beat battles. I make beats for an R&B singer to sing on, so they don't, or maybe I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to no Beats of the Beats at all. I gotta face them and Miss Madley, and you know what I'm saying? Like, no. I'm good.
Man. I remember meeting Kenny, and I was like, this guy has so much goddamn energy, and just like, yo, it's just like this. There's like a lot of intimidation, right? I took the flight. Me and my friend, we both took a flight out to LA for the first time together, right? So me and her, we're like chilling, we're enjoying the sights and sounds of Los Angeles, and then we go to the event, bro. We're like in this dark, dingy kind of like venue.
Oh yeah.
Literally, I'm just like, yo, I got butterflies. I'm like, because I've been playing into Toronto, right? And I remember my first beat was pretty. It was like I had an intro that I was kind of scared that I might get beaten up in LA. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna like it. But yeah, man, I remember the first beat they played, the first battle, and both these guys threw everything at the kitchen sink, bro. And I was like, yo, I think I just
Yeah. So that's why I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Sick with it. Nope. The Kraken. Nope. Brown Royal. Nope.
Brown Royal. Oh my God.
Nope. No, thank you. I mean, and when Dallas takes it 3 years straight, no, thank you. I'm not going against anybody. I'm not going against any of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's so amazing about that is that you have people who are amazing producers, and they have recognition, but a lot of them have never won a beat battle. You know, I mean, I remember Mark Bird has never, he didn't win one. S1 didn't win one when he was doing it. But I mean, when you think about where they are now and where their career has taken them, I mean, they're producing with Kanye West, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and the caliber of people that they're producing for, Rhapsody. But they never won that beat battle. So it's kind of like, wow. And at that particular moment, I was like, well, maybe there's hope for me. Maybe not.
Yeah. I like what you said about like S1 Bird and stuff, because it's like, I think when it even comes to beat battles and just making money as a career in this business, I think one thing I've learned is space and production, right? Like I would throw a lot of things at a production, and most people, I think most artists, they're trying to navigate through that. Like they're trying to find this space for themselves, right? To sit into the song. But when you have something that's really wide and has a lot of like pockets where they can get into, it just makes them much more it makes it easier for them to get their ideas out. You know what I mean? I remember like I would just throw like so many things because I think I'm in beat battle mode, but then it's like the artist, like my homie, she'll be like, yo, like, why do you have all this stuff here? Like, just take everything out and just add the drums and the keys. And then I'll be like, cool. And she'll just start writing to it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, right? Like beat battles are great for you to like, first to kind of gauge how you are peers. Also to kind of think creatively out of the box to make those like transitions and make your production more exciting, right? But it's such a when they're working with songwriters, you know, like you can't make it like a beat battle when there's like switch ups everywhere. Because like Homer might be, I like this beat, yo, why you change it? I like it. No, I don't like it. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I had to learn from beat battles. Because when I think about it, I did two. I did one in St. Louis, and then I did one at the beat camp in Atlanta. I don't know if you were at that beat camp. It was the one where they thought they had an active shooter on the campus.
Was it 2017?
Was it 2017? Was it 2017? No, I moved here in 2018.
Okay.
It had to be like 2017, 2016, 2017, something like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They thought they had an active shooter on the campus of where Hatch and them were uh, having the beat camp. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's bad.
And then
That's
we
bad.
had, the beat battle at I forgot the club, but the club is no longer open. Um, I can't remember the name of the club, but that's where we had it, and it was, and I did it there, and Focus was a judge, S1 was a judge, Bink was a judge, and I did that one. I mean, I lost, but I remember
Hey,
doing that one. But kind of what you said, what I did learn from it, takeaways is that it helps you to gauge your own musicality as far as how you're making the music. And that's what I had to learn is like, okay, I don't really make music for this. I make music for, songwriters and artists to put on albums because there's no way that I could make a song for an R&B singer and they got all these switch ups and drops
yeah,
and yeah, I mean, there's just no way. And I never grew up in that type of production environment. It was all about making songs for artists. But I'm glad you talked about that. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to ask you about your own musical style and how you pursue, or at least pursue when you're making music, what your philosophy is behind your music making production. So if you want to, I
yeah.
don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit more, but I seen you on Instagram doing some stuff with the
Oh
S
yeah,
key.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I seen you. But
yeah. Stuff on Instagram. But yeah, man. Honestly, like my philosophy when it comes to music production, I wake up in the morning, I put on like my brush my teeth, put on my boogie playlist just to get my day started. So like listen to some Kaushif or listen to some like different types of like funky music just to get my heart up a little bit. And then from there, man, yeah, I just kind of put the camera on and I just record. I try not to overthink too much, even though that does come into my frame. But yeah, whenever I make beats, man, I might go around the studio, get some percussion, start playing with some stuff around. I'll have an idea of how I want the beat to sound, so I'll do like the tap tempo on Ableton, and then from there do the drums, add percussion.
Ableton. Right.
Yo, I've been trying to like, yo, I feel like I'm a Jehovah's Witness, bro, because like I'm always like carrying like the sound. Like I have like other people at the studio, right? And I'm like, yo, you guys ever heard of Ableton? And like you can do a lot with it. And then I got one person on the crew to get to it, right? Like, but yeah, man, honestly, when it comes to the music stuff, I try not to overthink it. Like,
Mm,
I might I might play like chords that I really like, and I just from there like I'll just start to sound design it. Start
okay.
like different synths, doing like different lines, adding like vocal samples, maybe some percussion stuff that I have loaded up, and then yeah, like that's just me just doing those beat videos. When I'm working with an artist, usually I'm like chilling with them, and then like we just talk about like
Mm-hmm.
life, what we're doing right now. We just talk, right? And then
Right.
from there,
Mm-hmm.
like, I start really bare minimum, bro, like bare minimum. I have like the drums. I'll just do something that they like, and then I'll just play like like 3 or 4 chords, leave it at that, let their mind go, right? And I'll add like
Mm,
small things around it, right? And then from there, like once we have like a rough vocal take, from there, like I'll start to really spice it up, do some switch ups, do some
okay.
like different things. And I don't really, I don't, I don't have a genre that I stick to. I do like boom bap a lot. Uh, I do try to also branch out. I try to mess around with like Afro beats, try to mess around more with like R&B stuff, more funk, boogie. Just depends, man. Like like I have a project with my homie Ice the One. So we dropped a couple of singles, and they've been very different. Like some have been like boom bap, like straight hip hop. Some have been like Bryson Tiller R&B kind of vibes, and then we dropped some funk stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
even working with her, I like the way she works because she takes it as a challenge, right? I think as producers, if we want to work with someone, we're like, well, let's make beats that are just catered towards them, right?
Right.
But then but then maybe they want to work with you because you bring something super unique to the table, right? And vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I remember like, it's crazy. when we started doing these projects of these songs, I would just throw her whatever. Like I'll just throw her like a hip hop joint. I'll throw her like an Afrobeat joint. I'll throw
Mm.
her like a dark R&B, and she'll come back with the vocals like the next day, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that quick!" And then from there, like she would just give me the record. I will arrange it, mix it, and do my thing on it. And yeah, and I think that's the whole key of it, right? We all want to like push ourselves in different ways, right? Like even
Mm.
producer to think a little bit more outside the box, to really think about trying other genres, trying different chords, working with different people that you would never have worked with before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like bring something super unique to the table. Toronto, we have a very small scene, so
Mm.
it's just it's only right, you know.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I love the diversity in your music. I love how you're able to take so many different styles of music and put them into what you do, into your craft to generate a whole new sound. You know, versus just the regular trap beats. You know, you have 808s, hi hats, snare, then some type of halftime piano, and you're like, oh, that's it. That's the song. But
Don't get me wrong, dude. I love a ratchet 808. Like I just love that, you know.
look, don't get, I
Like
look,
I just
I feel you.
bro, I've been listening to Saweetie like when I'm working out, or sometimes like Doja Cat and Saweetie just comes on Spotify. You're just like, yo, this is dope.
Like, like it. Yeah, it took me a while to get used to Panda. From
And
yeah, it took me a while to get used to Panda. But now when I hear Panda, it's like just because I love the yeah. Hey, Panda, like now. But when I first heard it, I was like, man, get this out of here. I don't want to hear this. But now I'm like, don't let me drive. And Panda come on. I'm like, or that Bobby Shmurda remix that they did for Lucchini. This is it. Oh man. I'm,
oh, that's
like
crazy.
yeah, yeah. If you haven't heard that, you got to check that. That is, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I got
raw.
you.
That's a raw beat. They took Bobby Shmurda's, I forgot the name of the actual beat, but they took the Lucchini "This Is It" what vocals, and put it, on that beat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm a DM it to you on
Yeah,
Instagram
please,
so you can.
please.
Oh my gosh, that
That's
thing
so
is
dope, man. Isn't it
that
so
thing is
cool how
hard.
it's so amazing, right? With like social media, they mash up like all these like classic joints,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were like what like people would consider like new era rappers. I heard like one with Michael Jackson and Pop Smoke, and I was like, "Yo, this is yo, that's crazy." And I was just like, "Vegeta."
Billie Jean. Look. They better do it now because back then Michael be like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yo, yo,
I mean, yeah, Michael was like, nah, me and Pop Smoke, nope, never gonna happen. But now Mike's gone. If you got permission, you could, hey, you can
it's
say you got a
crazy.
song with Michael Jackson.
He definitely on any of this stuff, and like I mean, it is insane, man. I remember
Mm-hmm.
I remember they were trying to give thong song to Michael Jackson, and like Michael was
Wait a
like,
minute. Wait,
yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Like
wait,
they were trying to shove it at Michael. I'm like, what are you
wait. Cisco's thong song?
doing?
They're
Yeah,
trying to get that to
man.
Michael Jackson. Michael be like, thongs. Like,
It would have been in another
yo,
in another
been. That thing would have been out of this world.
Yo, but it makes sense, right? Because you're like, dong, 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 like, you're like, yo!
Pakatong, pakatong, tong, takatong, tong, takatong, tong. Bro, wait.
Dude,
Oh, dude, I would die laughing if I heard. I gotta hear somebody need to do that. Let's do it.
that was a great
Hold on,
record, man.
wait a minute.
That
Oh
was
my
a dope record.
gosh, that would be hilarious. Oh man, but look, people do that. They start taking all of these. I'm still laughing at them. They just did one on Eminem. They did a lo-fi. Well, no, I don't know if it's lo-fi, but they did "What If My Name Was Made Today," and I gotta go listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm so tripping out that Michael Jackson is the thong song though.
Dude, I thought they were trolling, man, because I was like, how is that possible? Because I think Michael, he did make some like, I remember like around a certain era, he was getting a little raunchier, but like thong song, I
Right.
thought it would have been great, right? I think even the Neptunes were trying to shop stuff to him as well, and that would have made more sense. But like one song bro, can you imagine like Michael just coming out with like he's like, yo guys, I got a new song for you. And all these girls just come out of songs and his career is back. Like, they were left, but like,
Oh my gosh.
it's like you okay, bro, like You Rock My World was really dope. But like I remember hearing it as a kid and I was like, it's alright, it's dope. Right? Like You Rock My World was like dope, but as a kid, I was like, this isn't like I was listening to like Neptunes, right? And that was like Nori, nothing, all that stuff was popping, right? Timbaland, Missy Elliott,
Right.
they did like that Dutch. So like
Boom,
your
boom,
mind
boom,
is
boom,
like,
boom. Yes.
so
Yes.
as a kid, my mind is so used to those kind of percussive elements, and I'm just like, this is nuts. So like if when Michael came out with You Rock My World, as an adult, I appreciated it way more. But as a kid, I was like, this is cool, this is dope. But it's not like not like that stuff. So imagine if he came with that song, it would have been like the next level thing. I think.
I just can't imagine.
I need to talk to his management, bro. You gotta get
Man, I just can't believe, like, we need a Michael Jackson voice generator, and somebody need to do that.
Oh
I need to hear the thong song. I need to get one of the Michael Jackson impersonator people, and I need to have them do thong song. The Michael Jackson version. I need that. I'll pay some money for that one. I'll buy that CD. I would like make a physical CD and I will buy it. Yeah, I want that because that would be hilarious.
Yo, this is the crazy thing too. Like we just don't know, right? Like how many unreleased demos there are. Like now everything is coming into play, right? Like everything, like the internet, everyone is kind of telling their story about, oh, this happened in the studio. We had these records for this specific artist. And like with Drake as an example, like all these demos getting leaked, right? Like all these dude, who knows, like in all these studios all around the world, all these unreleased demos that no one can't release anymore, right?
Yeah, I know.
These pockets are just like, yo, that's crazy. Like
I mean there's so much music that we're missing out on that we will never hear. That we will never hear because they can't release them, or then it never got sample clearance, or it just didn't make the album, or whatever, and we will never hear those songs, like the Michael Jackson thong song. Like that just made my whole night right there. Like
you pointed like in Argentina. It's just like, what's his name?
Oh man, that just made my whole night right there. Like, really? Michael Jackson thong song. But yeah, man. So let's go back for a moment.
For sure.
Let me get that out. Okay. So you talked about iStandard, right? And you talked about going to beat battles, and learning from those beat battles. At first there was an apprehension, like, wait a minute, I don't know if. But then you kind of got into the groove. You kind of went to beat battles, and then there's a major beat battle that took place in Canada, which I actually watch regularly when they come on. Battle the Beatmakers. Battle the Beatmakers. Yes.
Battle the Beatmakers, man. Thank you. I gotta shout those guys out. Clifton is the guy who runs it. Great guy. Yeah, Battle the Beatmakers, man. The first time I did it, I was a reserve. So that means like I wasn't picked for the battle, but I could. But I wasn't picked for the battles exactly, but I was like in a reserve. But basically, if someone dropped out, I can come back in. So I remember I remember a lot of people couldn't make the battle, so I was the first one to like outside the door with my backpack, my laptop. I don't know why I took my laptop with me, but I was just there, right, in this packed venue. And then literally like the first battle I did, it was cool. Like I lost that one, and I was like, okay, at least I didn't expect myself to be in that battle, but I was just happy that I did it. Right, it was like a personal thing, dude. Like when they did in 2016, this is before I went to iStandard for LA.
Okay.
It was a lot of people, man. It was a lot of people, and it was intimidating because there was just like it's like a packed venue. So literally, I'm like there, and I'm like, all right, win or lose, people still like pick me up. They're like, yo, you just came like out of nowhere. You had some heat. I was like, cool. I said, okay, we'll do it next year. So next year, I got into the main event, which was dope.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, man, like I took a this is how we talk about projection. I was projecting that I took a big L when it really wasn't. The guy I was battling, Chicago, was just a monster. He's just a monster beat maker, producer. So I really hurt my ego, and I was like, yo, I don't know if I can do these beat battles anymore, man, because I need to come correct. So literally, like I just kind of sat down for the day, and I'm like, yo, for the week, and I'm like, and I remember I was kind of like in a zone, like the negative zone, like I was not feeling too good. And I remember I saw Jay-Z, he performed here, and like the next, I remember I saw Jay-Z, and bro, like my heart came back, and I'm like, yo, you gotta take this W now, like you gotta win. The next year, I slayed it. Like I had like the whole place jumping because I think at this time too, I was really experimenting with like house stuff. I was experimenting with like more like upbeat beats, right? In Toronto, it's so weird because you don't know what resonates with people, right? In America, like I feel like in my experience in America, people will let you know like, yeah, we like it or we don't like it, right?
Right.
Literally in Toronto, people will just look at you, and then after you're done your set, they'll be like, hey man, that was a really dope set. And you're like, but I was looking at you, you weren't even doing anything. Like,
right.
and bro, I remember, so sorry to deviate, I did Controllerize, right, with Stolen Drums and my homies.
Oh yeah.
We did Takeover, right, with Lisa Vasquez too. And I remember I did my set. It was all like house stuff, right? All like upbeat kind of vibe. Yeah, this is like. Bro, I was nervous because I was just like, bro, I don't even know because all my homies are boom-bap producers, right? And then lo-fi guy. So I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's take a risk. Stolen was like, do it,
right.
do it.
Yeah.
So, bro, I remember I'm doing it, and I'm like, I'm feeling it. I look up, and no one is in front of me. Everyone's in the main room. It's like dancing, right? And I was like, yo, this is what I live for.
Wow.
So, Battle of the Beat Makers, I kind of like after like so back to 2018, like Battle of the Beat Makers, I didn't know like what to expect, like how I was gonna react to these beats because usually the guys who won was very like trap heavy, very hip hop. So I'm like, I came with some like K Tornado kind of stuff, and everybody loved it, right? And after that, the next year I placed again third, and after that, man, yeah, it was just a dope experience. Like I just kept learning more and more about my production,
right.
Also more importantly about myself, to be more secure in my production and more secure in my creativity, right? You get a lot of people, like this also goes to like younger people, right? Like everyone tries to get in your ear, say like, yo, you gotta make this type of beats to success or whatever. But dude, anything is possible. Like you can make anything you want, and if people gravitate towards it, that's your market, right? And yeah, man, I remember growing up. I grew up in a private school, like in a place where like different cultures and personalities. That for me, just to be limited is so crazy to me that I'm like, that makes no sense. Like I've been blessed to travel around the world, to meet different people, experiences, come to Canada, meet even more different people, be infused with the Caribbean culture here. That I'm just like my mind cannot fathom just sticking to one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
look,
like,
I do because I'm in an area where, of course, people know I live in Atlanta, right? And for my AT aliens watching the show, there's no knock against them, but I feel that a lot of them have a mindset towards just one style of music, one style, and I love people who have diversity like yourself in music. You're trying different things. You're using, Afrobeat and Caribbean music, calypso, and using all these different styles, and you're putting those into your music, and it gives it a good, flavor, and people can kind of resonate with it, and they can groove, a little bit differently. When I just hear trap all the time, it's just like, okay, yeah, that's the same 808. That's the same Zaytoven snare that is in every song that people are using. But I
Yeah.
love that. I love how you're using all different styles. And for those who are watching, if you've never seen him on, his Instagram channel, he does videos. And he put them up of him just jamming out. And sometimes he'll do Indian movie clips.
Oh, bro,
Oh
yeah,
my
man.
gosh, those are the.
No, dude, like all these. So this is the funny thing, right? About even like culture, because like as a kid, there was a lot of like Hindi movies were demonized, right? Like a lot of movies were
Hmm.
demonized because like a lot. Okay, I don't make it a race thing. It's not, but a lot of Caucasian kids who were from Britain were very racist. So
Hmm.
if you came with your Indian food, you came with Indian culture, they try to make you not normal. They try to
Hmm.
normalize this cookie cutter turkey sandwich kind of vibe. And I was
America, America.
oh, man, yo, yo, dude, like British schools, bro, like next level stuff, man. So like literally, they try to normalize like all these different cultures to be abnormal, right? Which is
Hmm.
very insane as I grew up because I used to try to follow their culture and it didn't make
Mm.
bro, I just started watching like movies, like Hindi movies and like Tamil Nadu movies, like
Hmm.
recently, right? And I'm like, yo, it kind of reflects my personality because I'm like a little bit out there too. But cool, they used to be like, no, tone it down, tone it down.
Hmm.
And then like I just like even the vibrancy, right? Like when they do like the small things like colors and the music and the
Hmm.
lighting, so much flavor, dude.
That's right.
And I'm just like I come to decisions. I'm like, do I want to watch like an old Hindi movie, like from the 80s and the 90s? I want to watch something about serial killers. I'm like, I'm going to the Indian movie, bro, because
Right.
that
See,
whole
see?
like man, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, man. I take a lot of I like the the way the Indian movies are represented. You know what I mean? Especially the old,
Mm-hmm.
not to do with love, not to do with like connection, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
just go crazy, man. They're like, yo, we got 3 hours. Let's throw everything. Let's do the dance numbers.
Dude,
Let's do
dude,
the
they be
elemental.
doing it.
Let's go.
They be doing it. They do it and they do it big. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that creativity in their filmmaking. I just love it. So let me go back to Battle of the Beatmakers, right? So you placed third,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And you had some people that you were going up against. Like I said, I literally watched the entire thing. And as I'm watching this whole thing, I'm going, hey, wait a minute. Is that Bombay? Oh, that's what's up. Like, cause I didn't know. I was like, is that Bombay? And I think
Yeah.
I think I think Question was at the same one. I think Question
Question
was
ATL, man. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Shout
Question
out to Question.
Question was at the
Yeah.
same one. And I looked and I was like, yo, wait a minute, that's Question. Maybe, but
Yeah.
y'all had some competition with Flame Emoji and unknown. Oh my
Unknown was
gosh.
nasty. He was
Oh my
nasty. He
gosh. It
was
was like
he was
man,
disrespectful. Disrespectful, nasty.
he was
Did that.
disrespectful. I don't know who was the guy who is the commentator.
Oh, tricks.
Okay, Tricks. Okay,
Yeah.
that dude is empty your pockets. He is an hilarious because he asked unknown. He's like, where are you from? He was like, I'm from North Korea. He was like, well, he's from North Korea. Like, wait a minute. He was like, no, no, and you could tell he had a little, but he came y'all. Not even just him. Y'all came with
Yo, tricks,
crazy
man.
fire.
Like, yeah, man. Like, dude, like that. So what was insane? Like 2018 and 2019. It was kind of like the years where like the U.S. a lot of cats from the U.S. were coming in. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of guys they met through iStandard before, like Flames Emoji and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yep.
like it was so dope. Hail Caesar was there too. Got the hail. A Question ATL, Unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So many cats, man. And it was just like, bro, it was like the Infinity War. It was like, in
It
a way.
was.
Because like we have our local cats, right? When we saw like the list, we have these local cats like Don Diaz, myself and and a couple other people, and then you have all these US cats. And it was literally like, yo, it was like 64. I remember 2018, like I had some homies from Detroit, Soundproof. I'm not sure if
Mm-hmm.
like those guys are like beat battlers, bro. Like I remember, funny story. they came to Toronto, and I knew these guys before because 2016 I battled them, and I was like, well, these guys are insane.
Mm.
And literally, they came to Toronto, and then we liaison. We're like, oh, dude, cool. Let's go. Like, let's chill for a bit. Blah blah blah. So they had their battle the second night, and literally, dude, these guys came like swinging. Like they came with that Detroit left hook, and this poor guy they were battling. I don't know his name, but he was just like me, like not meek, but he was just kind of, he's kind of right. So he had his backpack, and he was just like, these two black guys just like. Just throwing, like doing the air
Yes.
side, and eventually the beats were crazy hard. But yeah, man, they caught an L because of that, because apparently like it was too aggressive. Like like Toronto battle culture compared to America. Like I've been
I think
to
I saw that one.
I'm sorry.
I think I saw that one.
Like so, I don't think they filmed it. They filmed that was a prelims. The one I'm
okay.
talking
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I get you.
The main event, but like that was like another situation. But like that one, like the prelims, that was crazy because I thought they definitely got the W, right? But Toronto's very different and America's very different. In America, I'm sure they were used to battling that way, right? Like being like super aggressive, really in your face,
Right.
and a lot of personal attacks with the audio clips. In Toronto, we just play the beat. We just stand there. We just like, you like
Yes,
that?
play the beat, you dance a little bit. Just
do you like me, bro? And it's just like, what?
Right.
Like, yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, definitely, it was like this huge. Oh man, 2018 was my favorite one. 2019 was dope, but 2018 was like my best experience because that was where like you actually got to see all these players come together, right? You have all these guys, from the UK. Like guys from like Atlanta, guys from like New York, all flooding with this local pocket, and then you have producers in Canada from like Etobicoke, like Rexdale, Scarborough, like little boroughs here, and then the guys from like Alberta. So it was just like all these dope cats coming through, and you cannot slip. Like you can't slip.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
You cannot
literally,
slip.
I was WhatsApping all my homies like in Cyprus, and I'm like, "Yo, what you think of this beat? Yeah, man, give me your honest feedback." And they're like, "Yo, bro, I don't. Yeah, it's cool."
Yeah, and I like Battle of the Beat Makers. I love watching, and the reason why I watch it is more from a learning perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entertaining to watch. Tricks and him, making his jokes and doing the things he's doing. Because I believe he's a comedian, right?
Yeah.
And so doing all that and engaging with, the people who are producing and, engaging with the crowd. But I'm listening to go, why do they do it that way? Okay, I'm listening to the sounds that people are using. Like, so I'll do this. I'll stick to, because one of the guys I was most impressed on that whole show, out of all of y'all, right? I'm just gonna say it anyway. Don't feel bad about it. But it was Unknown. Like, oh my gosh, I was listening to his stuff and the way that just the sounds that he used. And I'm like, why did he use that particular sound? What, like that's a crazy synth that he used right there. And it was just the way that he just kind of structured the melodies, and he went from one style and then he went to a completely different style. And it's like, well, wait a minute, that was different. And it was just. So that's why I listen. That's why I watch Battle of the Beat Makers. I think other people watch it for other reasons. But
a funny story with Unknown, like, so we met like in the prelims, and we were just chilling. We're like having drinks and things like that, right? And like you don't know someone until because you don't know someone until they play their beats, right? And especially in competition. Literally, I thought he was like a drummer, right? And I'm just like, you're tripping everywhere, and he'll admit it too at that moment. Because he was just drinking alcohol.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually, like it came to his time to battle, and like as soon as he played that beat, bro, like this is the prelim stuff. So this is even like scarier. Prelims because you're just like the first time you're hearing everyone, and usually producers do a trick where they archive their posts so you can see what they're like.
See.
I don't think he did it, but I noticed a lot of producers used to do that. I'd have all my stuff on my Insta, like, yo, I'm gonna play this beat. So it is
like
what
right
it is.
here. This beat's coming for you.
So I remember like he played the first beat, and I'm like, oh crap. I was like, yo. And then I had to battle him too, and I was like, oh,
I
I was
know.
turned up that night, and I
Uh,
was like,
I
I was like, no.
watched, and I was watching this whole thing like, oh, shoot, look, it's Bombay and Unknown. Oh, shoot. And he plays, oh my gosh, he just plays some, oh my gosh, like, I need to go, I'm coming to, I'm coming to Toronto. I need some of
Yeah,
that.
man, please.
I need some of that, what y'all got.
Bro, we were
Yeah.
supposed to have one actually, like, I think was it last year or this year? We were supposed to have one. And then, like, because of COVID, they postponed it till this year, and
Right.
now it's March, man. So, like,
COVID is extended. So, man, so let me ask you, man. We've been talking. Like I said, I just like talking, during this segment, versus just being your regular, type of interview. But I do want to ask, for you, what have been some of your own major challenges that you faced personally, and what are some things that you've done to either overcome those, or what did you learn from those?
okay, and yeah, that's a great question, man. So I think I don't want to put every producer in a blanket statement, but personally, there are three things actually, three things that I've learned. I'm learning actually more. Number one is music theory. Like learning basic music theory will take you a long way because I had a lot of deals or I had a lot of like opportunities where people were hitting me up. They're like, "Yo, we want you to do a track for us, or we want these beats for this project, and we give you X amount of money. We'll give you this contract, right?" And then I would divulge to them like, "Oh, yo, I used some samples from a record that I had, but no one's gonna know, blah blah blah." Got canceled. I got sync deals that got canceled because I used samples, right? I just took like a chord progression and I played it. They're like, no, we can't use any of that. So I started to learn more music theory like 2018, like learning like chord progressions,
Mm-hmm.
learning how everything interplays. Sound design became really fun after that. And then that gives you more opportunities. It gives you allows you more room to experiment too, right? Because you start to listen to music in a different way. I listen to like Lonnie Liston Smith, and I'm like, yo, this guy's playing like funky ass chords, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just the way they're playing it. We think it's complex, right? Because there's so much going around it. But like you listen to the chords, and like, oh, this is pretty. This is manageable. I could do something like this. And then it's crazy. Your music will start to sound like the stuff that you really want to make. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, music theory, man, number one. Oh my God, like that's like paramount. Sampling is great because it teaches you a lot about critical listening and also like if especially getting to urban music, hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
and R&B, you have to go to the basics and see how they did it. You know what I mean? The story of sampling is very beautiful too because it was created during an era where there was really like it was just creating magic from what they had. You know what I mean? Like whatever records they had, that was the music source. They just used it to talk about their struggles and their how they overcame like a lot of their issues, right? So that was beautiful in itself. So sampling taught me a lot, man. Just like how production works, how do they do these records? Why did they use this sample? Why did they use this loop? Why?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, how did they manipulate it? Because now you start to reverse engineer, and then you apply it in your framework. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's right.
And then number two, legal, like the legal side of it, like the business side. I'm still like wrapping my head around like copyright, like all
Mm-hmm.
those small royalties and things like that. Still like not too clear to me because it's like it's just the gambling law is very very weird. So like I can't blame it. That's on me because I have to take the initiative to be like, yo, I gotta. No, I can't put the blame on the Canada legal laws most of the time. But like yeah, just number one, number two is like just learning like the basics of it, like your copyrights, your songwriting credits, and things like that. And yo, number three, man, this is like the most important is like self-development, dude. Like really thinking about your purpose, right? And like really um kind of communication and also like communicating with like artists and songwriters and your peers, right? That's like the most important thing I feel. Because you could be a great music producer, you could You learn so much theory. You can know so much about the legal aspect of it, but no one wants to hang out with you. It's a lost cause. You know what I mean? If no one can really relate to you on a personal level, it's not a good look. And I've learned that the hard way. I used to go to studios. People would let's love the music that I made, but my energy was very closed off. So like they would appreciate my talent, they would appreciate a lot of things about me, but I wouldn't have the same opportunities as someone who just kind of did the bare minimum, but was a
Hmm.
hang out with. If that makes sense. Like,
No, it does.
it's just like, yo, if it's like, bro, you could be like the next 40 Shabib, right? You could be the next Pharrell, but if you can't relate to someone on a human level, it's so difficult. It's so difficult,
Mm.
right? Because it's like, how do you communicate your ideas and your music is very personal. How do you communicate your goals and your vision and like your personal things to someone, right? Like I've been in songwriting sessions, dude, where it's like me and that person, we admire each other's crafts, but we just don't relate and the music doesn't even come out. Even though like at A&R might be like, yo, you two are gonna make
Hmm.
some crazy stuff. The next day, hey, what did you guys make? Oh, we just made some beats, did some do some basic vocals. It's like it's not the same. My homie, I have to give a shout out to my friend Junior T. So he taught me a lot about like being personable and being very in the moment. So I would see him sometimes in the studio and literally like he would talk to the artist for like an hour and a half, right? Instead of going straight to work, he'll sit with them, have a drink with them, talk to them about their personal life, what's going on, things like that, trying to get a more of an understanding of where they are in their life. And then they start talking about ideas and they start branching out into like, okay, let's try something with this. And then literally they'll make a song together. You
Hmm.
know, I see how different the thought process is compared to me just walking in the studio with my backpack, setting everything up. Hey, how's it going? Start making the beat. Okay, hey, but where's the connection? And that's something
Right.
I learned like this year. Like I use like it's crazy because it's something that not many people talk about. Like no one really talks about like the self-development part, right? A lot of
Hmm.
producers I feel I talk in like general talking, they're like, yo, I don't know if my stuff is good enough. I'm like, dude, how do you know? Like, that's you
That's right.
projecting. And that's something that I remember doing Battle of the Beat Makers. I used to think my stuff wasn't that good either. But it's like, well, you have to own it. Because if you don't own it, no one else is.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you're right.
And like you can't like and that's the crazy thing, right? Like you can't get to that next level unless you just own it. You're like, yo, no, I'm really good. I provide something that is unique to me, right? I can
Hmm.
provide something to you that's very unique to you. I have a value as a person, right? Instead of being in a competitive kind of frame of just like, yo, I gotta get better like this person, I gotta do like that. No, man,
Hmm.
we all have something we contribute, but also like just being in a frame like we're making something together. I think of songs as like a baby, right? It's
Right.
like you're
Yep.
with the singer or like a rapper, and you're the producer. You're basically making a baby together.
Like,
Like
hey,
you're
we having
making
a baby.
like you're making something crazy, right? You're making something dope.
Right.
Making you're basically combining both your dreams and your visions together. You're moving, right?
Hmm.
And that's like your both of your energies have to be in unison. If they're not, then it's just not gonna come out right. And I feel being open is yo, trust me, dude.
Gems. That's a gem right
You
there.
have to be open
Yes.
with people, man. And that's like it's scary because I think we all have I hate to deviate, but I feel like you have to be open in music because um you have to like be able to trust people, right? Like you can make the best music if you're in the frame of like, yo, someone's gonna screw me over, then you're gonna have that
I
energy,
know.
man. And no one would want to work with, I would not want to work with anyone like that. And I keep my circle super small. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
me
if you want
too.
to call me through Zoom, like just unless like and like I'll be taken very rarely. I'm like, I'll meet you at the studio, right? And most of my homies are like that too. We're not like just taking calls left and right. Like I'm not that like you know I'm
Hmm.
not like, that hungry for that kind of, because you have to be aware about the energy that's coming in, right? You just don't know. And I personally, yeah, I believe you have to be on that level of just being like, yo, I am worthy, and that's why self development is so great in this field, right? Because
That's
dude,
right.
being open is like super important.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, the whole music theory part. I'm actually learning more about music theory now myself. As
Yeah,
a part-time producer. So so
yeah,
I'm learning about music theory,
yeah, man.
and sometimes I find myself going because I can't play. I can't play. I mean, I'm just actually I just learned to play J. Cole "Love Yours" on the piano. Like the whole yeah, that
That's
was the first.
amazing.
I was like, I'm gonna learn. If I'm gonna learn something, I'm gonna learn how to play that. And so, yeah, I play it every day. Love yours, just to, and then that kind of warms me up to get my
Yeah,
hands in. But we talked about Ableton. We were like, yeah, Ableton. Like Ableton has a whole chord feature in Ableton 11 now, where I can draw in kind of like FL Studio. I can
yeah,
just
yeah.
I can draw in my chords, so I don't have to use a loop or a sample. It's like I can make my own. Why? Because they have a chord feature, just like how FL Studio does. Um, but yeah,
Dude, man, this is just cheat codes on cheat codes,
cheat
man. Like,
codes, cheat codes, and cheat codes, and the scalar
yeah,
too. There's in
yeah,
Reason, there's a chords and scales in Reason. You can press one button, play a E minor scale. I mean, they're making things easier now for us who don't know music theory, but still want to take advantage of those opportunities that come our way, where we don't have to, use samples and loop packs and stuff like that, where the customer is kind of like, wow, we can't use those, So I think music theory is super critical. Just understanding something about it so your ideas can be expressed to their fullest. If I'm just stuck in loops all day, yeah, I'm not gonna.
yeah,
That's
man.
yeah.
Like, I love loops. I especially like if they're from like other producer like peers.
Hmm.
And stuff like that. I love because it gives your mind like a break, right? Like,
That's right.
it's different. But yeah, man, I think like even like music theory, dude, was just like something I was. Unfortunately, I was very like, no, I don't want to do it. Till my
Yeah.
I was like this, but you know what? It's crazy. It was under the guise of I just want. So the reason I didn't want to do it is because the real reason was because it was tough, right? But
Yeah. Same. Yep.
I used the guise of I want to be a boom bap producer that's pure to the craft, man, and I use that as a headline to hide this, right?
Mm,
So it's an interesting thing, right? Like we have to take those risks. Just be like, yo,
that's right.
just learn it. Just, what's the worst that can happen?
That's right. Yeah, you're right. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is what advice would you give people coming into this music industry? But I think, what you just talked about would be, those gems that people need in order to be in this music industry, that self-development, understanding the legal side, the business side, and the music theory. Is there anything else that you would add in regards to advice you would give somebody coming into this field?
Hmm. I honestly, man, this might sound, it's not, I'm not trying to sound corny, but go and like be the producer that you want to be, right? Like when I
Mm,
say that, it's like don't make music based on what your peers want you to make, right?
that's
Bro,
right.
I have a good friend of mine. He's like he really likes like trap. Okay, he's kind of like hard hip hop stuff. I like it
Mm-hmm.
too, but I'm more Afrobeat, more this way, right?
Right.
And he would literally tell me like, "Yo, you need to make beats like this," and I'm like, you know what? I get it. He's coming from a mind from a I care for you, and I think this is how you're gonna make money, right? And I listen to
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm like, okay, cool, but at the same time, my heart tells me to make music like this. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And dude, there are some days I might get mad. I'll be like using the pads and stuff. Okay, that's cool, right? But this today's not the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to understand like you're not like everyone else. Like I could not be Nav. I couldn't be just because me and Nav are Indian doesn't mean we have to be alike. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And just because 40 and me are in Toronto doesn't mean I have to be like 40. I'm just Bombay, you know, I'm just me. And I think once you get more comfortable to that fact, like just start to skyrocket. And it's
That's
crazy
right.
because you know, and dude, I'm not gonna say that takes. It doesn't take like 6 months to get to that. It took me
Mm.
like 7 years, and I'm still learning. I'm still like okay, musically, I'm cool. I know the plugins. I know what to use. I know the templates. Like that's whatever, right? Legal stuff happens as it happens, just through self learning. The self development part is the most important part because like
Mm-hmm.
that's my work right now. But I think most producers just have to like, if you're just starting, don't even you have to just worry about your craft. Worry about like what plugins to use, what kind of style of music you want to make. So like I think Illmind had a good tip was if you like Jay Dilla, make beats like Jay Dilla, just to get an understanding of how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, like, okay, let's say you like, oh, I like how the Neptunes use chords. Okay, so learn about music theory, and then you can combine like that Jay Dilla, like those Jay Dilla kind of slumpy drum techniques with like
Mm-hmm.
chords and sound design, and then now you have this little monster that, well, I would say
That's
monster,
right.
that's not a word, but like, but you get something that's unique to you, right? Now people hitting you up like, yo, dude, I like the slumpy drums because it reminds me of Jay Dilla, and I like the chords because it reminds me of
Mm-hmm.
Brown and Chad. And then do it like, you know, you just don't
That's
know.
right.
Luger and Timberland, just put them together. But the thing is you're doing it from a place of like, oh, this is something that I think people need. This is a vibration I think people would want to hear. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Music on the fact that I'm like, oh yo, this is something that I want to make. And I feel like this person would be good on it. You know what I
Right.
mean? I
Right.
don't I don't try to like, you know, I don't try to be innovative. That just
Mm.
happens. Like
It just happens.
just go with the flow, man, and you just keep hammering those keys, you keep hitting those drum pads,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually, yeah, and then you get more closer and closer to yourself.
Sky's the limits because because you're doing what naturally comes to you.
Interstellar, man, Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
That's
for sure.
right. That's right, man. So we've been talking for a while. I've been enjoying the conversation, brother. It's been amazing, But tell people where they can find you. How can they connect with you, and how can they hear more about what Bombay is doing?
For sure, man. So I usually use my Instagram a lot. So my Instagram is Hey Bombay One. I do have a TikTok, but I don't really post much on it. It's just Hey Bombay. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It's cool. I really like it. I seen Jay Black put some stuff. Well, shout out to Jay Black. He posts some cool TikToks, man. But yeah, I just use those two platforms at the moment, and yeah, all my links are there too.
Yeah, yeah. So y'all make sure y'all check him out. Hey Bombay One, at his on all his social media platforms. But yeah, I feel the same way. I got TikTok, but I rarely use TikTok. Like I'm an Instagrammer. I like
Fire though.
Instagram.
The algorithm for TikTok is fire, dude.
Fire, like
oh, God. I think it picks up
man.
conversations I have with my homies, and it's like, hey, remember that time you and your buddy were talking about this? You're like, oh, yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, and I wish Instagram's algorithm was so much different than what it was, but
Yeah, man.
you
Hopefully.
know. But I'm not in control. It's not my platform. I don't own. Yeah, I get it. Instagram algorithm, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think like I use Instagram is kind of like how I use Facebook. Like, like it's becoming like that because like to the
Yeah.
point of
I mean, they're the same company.
yeah.
So
Facebook, I
trust me,
barely. Yeah, I
I
think
barely
someone.
use Facebook.
Yeah, man. Like Facebook, I got tagged in one post. I'm like, it was
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, okay.
And I mean, I think that's advice for music creators too, is choose what platform on social media actually works for you. I mean, don't try to use all of them if all of them don't work. I mean, I've used TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all these others. And the ones that work for me is Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, it's just Twitter. I would say the one that doesn't work for me is Twitter and Facebook and TikTok. But the one that
Right.
works is Instagram. I mean, that's the one I'm always on. I'm trying to learn TikTok. I have a cousin that's on TikTok. He got like 350 some thousand followers on TikTok. I'm like, how
Jeez.
though? I'm like, how? How? Like, how do you have that many? Like, what do you do? I can get
Yeah.
two. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. But man, Bombay, it's like I said, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. Stick around for just a moment as I get ready to close this out. I greatly once again appreciate you being here, sharing your story with us, and just man, just having a really great time and just learning about you and what you do. So,
Yo,
I mean, I
thank
just
you
greatly
so
appreciate it. Yes, man, thank
thank
you. So stick around for just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, once again, you know, we had a great conversation with my man Bombay up in Toronto. You know, I mean, maybe one day he's going to produce for, you know, Drizzy Drake. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the sky's the limit. But man, I appreciate all of you tuning in as always, every Monday and every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can catch all of our live segments here at We Create Music TV. And you can also check out all of our masterclasses and things that we offer as well. So keep on the lookout, right? So make sure you hit that bell to get notified of new content. Make sure you subscribe to our channel just to help us make this content more available to others. Helps our numbers go up and our ranking and posting on YouTube. But once again, thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate all of you. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is for wherever you are. But thank you for tuning in, and we're out. Peace.